Welcome to Sober Living Snippets, the podcast helping people over 40 live alcohol-free so you can improve your relationships, feel youthful again, and finally ditch regret and shame. All right, let's do this snippet. It is snippet time. It's also Monday, and we have a really exciting week ahead. I'm super excited because this week is quote week. It is quote week. What does that mean? It means I'm going to bring a quote to you each and every day from a wise person, and we're going to talk it over. Some have absolutely nothing to do with sobriety and just living well, and some have something to do with sobriety. All of them are relevant if you are trying to live a happy, sober life. Because you know what? Before I get started, I just want to point out we don't always have to spend every day of our lives thinking about alcohol. Not if we're already sober or if we're even if we've got one day of sobriety or if you're planning on quitting tomorrow. You don't have to think about alcohol. You don't want to obsess over it. Think about it. In fact, get your mind on something else. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so today's quote, love this quote, from Mr. Mark Twain, also known as Samuel Clemens. You may know him from, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, those kind of things. Mark Twain said, "I am an old man and have known many great troubles, most of which never happened." Let me say that again. I actually didn't say it quite right. "I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, most of which never happened." Okay, love this. Love this. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means don't worry, right? It means don't worry. It also ties to what I said a couple of minutes ago about not obsessing over alcohol when you're living sober. In the beginning, it's hard not to because that's what you're doing. You're very focused on staying sober and how can I stay sober and all that, but we really don't want, and it's exhausting to think about it all the time. And not only that, but it fits in with this quote. If you're always thinking about alcohol, you're feeding the subconscious thoughts of alcohol, right? So I have known a great many troubles, most of which never happened. So let's just drop the worry, drop the fear, and remember that most of the things that we're afraid of in life will never freaking happen. And when we get to be old and we look back like Mark Twain and we realize, wow, I spent a lot of time in my life worrying about stuff that just never happened, right? And whether it's worrying about our children, things happening to them, or whether it's worrying about money, am I going to have enough money? Always somehow do, right? Things just happen to work out. You know what I always say? Things always just work out. Even if you die, it worked out. I mean, you're dead, right? But seriously, things will work out. So the other thing that's really important about this quote, and I know that Twain didn't mean this, or I'm sure he wasn't thinking of this, but we really literally do bring to us what we think about. So if you're focused on worries, if you're focused on what you don't want in life, and you focus on it long enough and hard enough, you're likely to bring it into your life. You're actually going to bring it towards you. You're going to create a magnetic field and bring it to you. If you're fearing disaster in some part of your life, or if you're fearing somebody's going to reject you, or if you're fearing that you're going to drink tomorrow, or if that makes it more likely that it will happen. So what's really strange is that we worry about things that will just never happen, but if they do, it's probably because we were worried about it. Because our thoughts have power. Our thoughts are more powerful than we can ever possibly imagine. If we knew how powerful our thoughts were, we would be way more careful about what we allow our minds to think. And that means we can turn this around and bring to us the good that we want in our lives. I am peaceful. I am happy. I'm fine. Like, this is the power of affirmation. Our thoughts and words create our lives. So, yeah, really wanted to bring this quote today because if there was just one thing I could get you to think about today, it would be that what you're thinking all day long will create not just an emotion in you, but eventually create the world around you. And so, but the good news is this: your thoughts are the one thing over which you have control. Actually, you have control over two things: your thoughts and your actions that come from your thoughts. Nothing else in this world can you control. You can't control other people. You can't control the weather. We got no control. The only thing we can control is what we're thinking and what we're doing, how we choose to behave. So, since you can't change others and you can't change circumstances and you have no control over anything, why worry about it? Why spend our energy and our time with negative thoughts, negative worries, or worse, and this is where it gets really bizarre, regret over things that have already happened, right? I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. So today is the day I wanted to remind you that most of the stuff you're worried about will never happen. So let it go. And even if it does happen, there's nothing you can do about it today, is there? I mean, right? If it's something that you know is going to happen and you can control it, then for crying out loud, do something about it. But otherwise, forget it. Clear your mind, my dears. Today, clear that mind. Think happy, happy, loving thoughts. Think of the people in your life that you love, that love you. Don't worry about the people that you're having trouble with. Just let it go. Don't worry about the things that might come to pass. Just let them go today. Today is the day I want you to set your mind free to think beautiful thoughts and just decide, you know what, I'm just going to go all day long just assuming that life is amazing and life will always be amazing. I mean, why not? That's just worrying in reverse, isn't it? Oh, all is well. Everything's amazing. Everything's going to go great no matter what. That's just worrying in reverse. If you want to worry, worry in reverse. Right? We need a word for that. It would be called faith. It would be called positive thinking. So today is your day for remembering that most of the things you're worried about will never happen. And as good old Mark Twain put it, I've had a great many things happen in my life, and most of them never happened. Actually, I screwed up the quote, but you get the point. And now it's time for your daily do. And I want it to tie together to this talk. So today, I want to invite you. Well, I guess daily do's aren't an invitation, they're a do. Here's what I want you to do today. I want you to find a worry and get rid of it. What are you worrying about lately? Most of us have something going on there. What have you been worrying about lately? Admit it. Come on, admit it, and then decide to release it today. Just consciously say, you know what? Every time that thought comes into my mind, I'm going to just let it go. I'm just going to let it fizzle away like smoke in the air. It's just going to float away. So find something you're worried about. It's probably already really clear in your mind. Recognize that it's probably never going to happen. And even if it does, there's nothing you can do about it. And just give yourself a break today. So that's your do. Your do is stop worrying about that thing. Consciously, intentionally. I'm not just casually saying, oh, stop worrying. I'm saying with intention, choose the thing you've been worrying about, write it down, then burn the piece of paper or shred it or eat it or whatever. Feed it to your dog, whatever. Get rid of it and get on with your day. Because life is way too short to spend worrying about something that will never, ever happen. That's your do for today and your snippet for today, and our week is now launched. I'll be back tomorrow with another quote, and I hope you'll join me. Sending you love and gratitude. Bye for now. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.